The 7-2 Colossus out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert and the Indiana Pacers go up against the Detroit Pistons and their marathon master of conditioning, Rip Hamilton. Coming up next.
We're in a place that call the Palace of Auburn Hills, outside Detroit, the home of the Pistons. We're broadcasting today's game live. Kevin Harlan here with Clark Kellogg as we bring you the NBA on 2K Sports. Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Paul George and Danny Granger on the perimeter. Roy Hibbert is out there with Tyler Hansbrough and Gollison. And for Detroit, Tayshaun Prince out there with Richard Hamilton. Then it's Wallace. Then there's Rodney Stuckey and Gordon. Here is Stuckey. Here's Hamilton. Connects from the high post.
You've got to close out on that mid-range jump shot.
Clark, the Pacers just could not find a way to win on the road. What were they, 9-32?
9-32, Kevin. The second worst road record in the East. And they really struggled in enemy territory, in part because they never established themselves as a defensive team, and they had some injuries as well.
Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with John Houston.
He got right to the point and told me they'll need to play a balanced inside-out game to negate some of their shot-blocking skills. He insisted that if you just try to pound it inside on them, they will hurt you without question, guys.
Thank you, Doris.
It's really a mindset, Kevin. You want to get into your defensive groove and find a way to stay there for the full game.
Here's Hibbert. Stuckey brings the double team. The jump hook. And it's Hibbert missing. And Clark, for the Pacers the season before last, the same story. They were also the second worst team in the East on the road.
And it goes back to the inability to defend effectively and consistently, Kevin. That's where it happens. You've got to defend if you're going to win on the road. Turnovers were a problem, too.
Rip Hamilton with his slender build, 6'7", about 195. He's a bit of a greyhound, always in motion.
And he's old school, too. Keeps it very simple, tough-minded, excellent in terms of how he conditions himself. You've got to be in shape to stay with him.
Now here's Prince. Stuckey, covered by Hibbert. Wallace. Let's go with a three. Kept alive. Stuckey with it. And Granger picks him up defensively. And the shot is good from Stuckey. And Indiana has possession. It's a 5-point game. Here is Hansbrough, guarded by Prince. George, covered by Hamilton. Rip Hamilton with the rebound.
Looked like he had the angle. That's a bad miss that close to the goal.
Prince kicks to Hamilton. It's dumped off. Back to Stuckey. Tipped away.
Tried to trick him with the pump fake. Now that's embarrassing.
Gordon gets called for blocking. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, it can be awfully hard to stay in front of guys at this level. He tried his best, but still got hit with the foul.
Here's George. Oh, he's bumped by the D, and he'll go to the line. The Detroit Pistons trying to get back on track after an uncharacteristic losing season a year ago.
Yeah, and Kevin, if they're going to climb back up in the standings in the East, they can start by taking care of some of the teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, they were just 18-34 playing against teams in the East last season.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Monroe comes in for Ben Wallace. And Tracy McGrady subbed in for Ben Gordon. Collison against Stuckey. Fires the three. A shot by McGrady, no good. The Pistons felt, Clark, like they needed to reconstruct their team since they weren't getting any younger, but the rebuilding hasn't been as smooth as they had hoped.
Not at all, Kevin. I mean, this is an organization with championship aspirations, and just making the playoffs is not good enough for the Pistons. Unfortunately, with the renovation and the rebuild last season, they couldn't even get that done.
And that one misses. We get a look at the Pacers here. What does this team need to do to get on top?
I think they need another star next to Danny Granger, and they need the continued development of young players. Brandon Rush, Roy Hibbert, and certainly a good play at the point guard position would help also.
The Pistons making a switch here. Villanueva's checked in.
A little different look here. Great man-to-man defense.
Now Stuckey. Back to Hamilton. Villanueva with a screen on Granger. And here is McGrady. 5 to shoot. Here's Hamilton. Hits back rim and out. They've got a chance to take their first lead right now. Short, covered by Hamilton. And they take the lead. And Clark, to that point, they have a lot of guys that are solid role players.
So if they could get, if they could get Granger a little help, stay healthy, and see the continued development of a guy like Roy Hibbert, who I think is going to be a really solid offensive center throughout his career, the Pacers will have a chance to maybe sneak into the playoffs.
Here is Collison after Tracy McGrady's score. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. And here is Malone. To the paint, takes it up with authority.
It's the old reversal. That was something else, wasn't it, Kev?
All a defender can do, Clark, is hope the photographer didn't get him in the picture.
I think he was posterized.
And a different look here for the Pistons. Ben Wallace, he's checked in for Monroe. Prince comes in for Richard Hamilton. Ben Gordon's checked in for Charlie Villanueva. And it's Bynum in for Rodney Stuckey. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Hibbert. And 2 free throws coming up as the whistle blows. He barely missed that one.
It's a well-used foul there to prevent the easy layup, Kevin.
First free throw is good. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Here's Bynum. Great anticipation.
Just because you can pass at the last second doesn't mean you should make a habit of it.
Tie game in Detroit. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from... Close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. Here is Collison. They've got Tracy McGrady. Find him out there with Ben Gordon. Then it's Wallace and Prince. That's the group for Detroit right now. Hansborough, that's good. And Clark, these Pistons not a very good defensive team, which seems weird because defense is what they've always hung their hat on.
Exactly. I mean, that's a tremendous departure from what this team was known for in its glory years. They excelled at the defensive end of the floor.
Wallace, the pass to Gordon. And the dunk by Wallace.
Kicked it to the right guy at the right time. That's a good pass.
Collison with it. Ben Wallace returned to Detroit, where he made his name and had a renaissance season for the Pistons.
How about that, Kevin? I mean, this guy looked like he was ready to pack it up and pack it in, and last season was relatively healthy and averaged close to 10 rebounds a game. He also had one of his best seasons as far as field goal percentage goes. So Ben Wallace went back to the fountain of youth a little bit in his season last year.
The Pistons trail it. Prince outside and jammed in for two. Good eyes and hands there. Set it up.
Plays like that are what makes this league so great. He's a special player.
I don't care if you're a fan of another team. You have to admire someone, Clark, who can make those types of plays. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, Jonas Jerebko went from a low-level Italian team to a starting role for the Detroit Pistons last season. A big jump up in competition, but Jerebko may have played better in the NBA than he did in Europe. Jerebko said that in Europe, quote, the game is so much more compact. In the NBA, it's more wide open and you can do a lot more. You have to be on the move. It's an up-and-down game, and that allows me to show my skills. Kevin, sounds like he's happy to be in the NBA.
And the NBA, happy to have him. Thank you, Doris. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Will Bynum. Here's Stuckey. Goes up. Granger with the defensive effort. Pacers leading by 3. Prince gets the whistle for blocking. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Well, the coach has a tough decision to make here. He can leave him in and risk a third foul, or take him out with 2 and lose some of his production.
Richard Hamilton's checked in for Detroit. Timeout called the Pacers. Pistons on D. They trail by 3. Here's George. Nails it from close range. 6 points for him.
Boy, what a significant turnaround here in the second quarter, after only making 40% from the field in the first.
Collison against Stuckey. A 3. Nice shot by Hamilton. Hamilton's got 8.
The defense made the mistake of playing off him, and he drained it from deep.
Outside Collison. Down low. Here's George. It's blocked. Hacks it loose. He recovers it. Inside to Hibbert, and he jams it in beautifully.
A pretty finish right there, Kevin. Take it up and then throw that thing down.
He didn't have to make it special, just get the job done.
That's right, keep it simple.
The Pacers finished last season at 32-50, not really in the playoff mix as the season wrapped up.
No, it was over fairly early for the Pacers as far as the playoffs go, and they did a little better against the Eastern Conference opponents, however, 23-29.
Hamilton gets the whistle for blocking. That is his first foul of the game. Here is Collison. Granger outside. And Clark, how do the Pacers snap out of their current rut? I mean, they're not terrible, but they're certainly not good.
Well, they've had injury problems, much like the Rockets. Key players out. Mike Dunleavy was hurt. Tyler Hansbrough, a promising first-round draft choice, missed most of the season. They need everybody healthy, and they need Danny Granger to continue to play like an all-star.
Looking at Danny Granger, a great wing player taken out of New Mexico, taken number 17, in fact, by the Indiana Pacers, Clark, back in 2005.
Boy, and that's a great value at that pick, Kevin. I mean, he's turned into their franchise player. 2 seasons ago was his big breakthrough. He's an all-star. They run their offense through him, and he's responded, finishing 5th in the league in scoring.
Hibbert against McGrady. Hansbrough. Here's Granger. No luck, so Detroit will take it the other way.
He's normally pretty accurate around the rim, but he couldn't make the layup that time.
Prince kicks to Hamilton, gets rid of it.
He got too casual with the ball there, and it led to a steal.
George, McGrady covering. Pass to Collison. Hibbert with it. Got a piece of it. Rodney Stuckey pulls it in. Hibbert gets whistled for blocking. That'll be his second foul of the game. Ben Gordon's checked in for Tayshaun Prince. Pistons trailed by 5. Here's Stuckey. Unload from 9. Pinballs around and in. Stuckey's got his second bucket.
He's just too quick for his man. Left him in the rearview mirror and knocked it down. In an effort to solidify the middle, they've changed to a 2-3 zone.
Stuckey against Collison. Rodney Stuckey covering. Just 4 to shoot. That will count. And no good trying to get that one. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime.
And it's been a great game out. These two have both turned in some great first half basketball.
And as the quarter begins, both teams have been trading blows like prize fighters. A close ball game. Pacers leading by 3.
Well, a couple of seasons back, Kevin, the Pistons front office saw that the team's championship window was in the rearview mirror and decided to give the team a remodel, a reconstruction job, if you will.
It's been a rocky road.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough.
Getting underway here in the second half. Here's the 5 for Jim O'Brien. Danny Granger and Tyler Hansbrough make up the forwards. There's Collison, then it's Roy Hibbert and George.
Passes like that are fun to watch. Beautiful feed inside for the score. He placed it perfectly, Kevin.
So, Clark, the question, I guess, is can this new cast of characters in Detroit match some of the Pistons' former success?
I think it's a tall, tall order, Kevin, actually north of my 80 inches. This group might be more offensively gifted, but if they can get back to the defense that they played in the glory years, that's what's going to get it turned around.
So it's Indiana.
Oh! By the time the D reacted, it was too late. That's the way to get up there and throw it down.
Well, this is a guy, Clark, you know you can't give any space to.
Without question.
Here is Stuckey. He's got 6. Here's Gordon. It falls short.
Kevin, that's the kind of shot you want. You can't ask for better execution on offense, but sometimes they just don't fall.
Can't get it to go. So Detroit will take it the other way. Tyler Hansbrough, Clark, out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, won a championship in North Carolina. In fact, they retired his number 50 jersey there already.
You'd be hard-pressed, Kevin, to find any collegian that's had a better career than Tyler Hansbrough, and you can go back as far as you want. I mean, just an outstanding college career. ACC Player of the Year, most career points and free throws made in ACC history, and the national champion, the boot. Had a tough rookie season with the Pacers, but I think his future is bright once he gets healthy.
So for the Pistons, Prince comes in for Charlie Villanueva, and Tracy McGrady subbed in for Ben Gordon.
Switch to a 3-2 zone. They're looking to keep the offense off balance here and disrupt them a bit.
And let's go to Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have for us?
Well, Kevin, an interesting combination of players for the Detroit Pistons, and there are questions about whether Rip Hamilton and Ben Gordon can work well together. They're both jump shooters who play well off the ball. Gordon said, people are going to say, yeah, those two definitely can't play together. But I look at myself as a combo guard. I see myself being able to exist in the game at the same time as Rip, being able to play off of him and make plays for him. Kevin, we'll see how this tandem works out.
Thank you, Doris.
Trying to find the right combination in the Motor City, that's going to be hard. You know, after some of the great teams they've had to go through this process of finding themselves again.
Collison against Stuckey, and he lays that one up and in. Stuckey's got 8, and Indiana has possession. 3-point lead. Granger right side. Here's Hibbert, and laid up and in. He has 6.
He's been extremely active out there, and he has the stats to prove it. Terrific hustle.
For 3, and it's McGrady, that time on the assist by Stuckey.
When he gets it going like this, you've got to double team it. That's your only hope. Well, the story for Detroit last season was their big money acquisitions of Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva. On paper, that looked pretty good, but unfortunately, it wasn't the smoothest of starts for those two.
Prince misses.
You know, he can make a few from out there, but the defense seemed unconcerned by him pulling up. They were giving him all sorts of room. Well, he doesn't have the softest touch. And with the D right in his face, that made all the difference.
Clark, do you think that Villanueva and Gordon will be able to turn the corner in Detroit, or do you think it's just a case where perhaps they overspent?
Well, I'm not quite ready to go there yet, Kevin. Clearly, those were two huge financial acquisitions. Both struggled with some injuries during the course of the year. I think you need to give it maybe a little more time to see if it can pan out for them. They're getting open looks now and knocking them down after struggling a bit in the first half. I mean, that just comes from understanding who you are and what you do. Stay with your game plan.
Here is Stuckey. 8 points for him. Prince backing him down. Just 5 on the clock. Here's McGrady, and laid in for 2 off the good feed that time. McGrady's got 9 points.
Excellent anticipation there, Kev. He placed that pass perfectly.
Back to Granger. It's taken away by Stuckey.
The closer in you get, the more they'll reach in for the pilfer. You got to protect the rock.
Hamilton with the traveling violation. Ben Wallace, he's checked in for the Pistons. And the Pacers call time here. Pacers leading by 5.
They'd be smart to hold it now for the last shot.
Now Hansbrough. Right side, Collison. Blocked. George. Some great basketball so far as we end the third quarter. Take a look at top. The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Here's Stuckey. Stuckey and Rip are in the backcourt. Tayshaun Prince out there with Tracy McGrady and Wallace. That's the 5 and the 4 for the Pistons. Prince outside. Uncovered. Hibbert yanks down the rock.
How much better a look do you need? Good mid-range shooter. Should have been money in the bank.
Here's Hansbrough. Rips it down.
That was vicious. I mean, real vicious. He hung on the rim just to say, you realize this is my basket, don't you?
Yeah, that is a nice finishing touch, Clark.
You think he bent the rim there, Kevin?
I think he did, sure. Look at it. It stays here. And the Pistons making a change here. Gordon's checked in. Here's Hamilton. Prince outside. 5 on the clock. 4 on the clock. And he hits the jump shot. Prince has got his first points of the game. Pacers leading by 5. Short, covered by Hamilton. Collison, the pass to Hansbrough. Here's George. Hamilton with some nice D.
Well, the more shots he misses, the more he hurts their cause. You better start looking to pass. He's not carrying them with his shooting. What an amazing trick shot to confound the defender. Oh, man, that's awesome. He's taking him to school right there.
Back to Collison. Now Hamilton defending. Behind the arc. Collison, no good. Pistons trail by 3. Gordon with it. Baseline jumper. Hamilton can't get that one to fall.
You got to expect more out of him here. He's had a lot of difficulty this quarter, which in turn is making it difficult for them to cut into this deficit at all.
One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent ball movement.
And I love the unselfishness. It's a joy to watch.
George, covered by Hamilton. Wallace is going to be hit with the blocking call, and that'll be his third foul so far. Pistons on D. A great fourth quarter, just giving up 2 points. Hibbert, the pass to Hansbrough. The steal.
He got caught napping. You've got to pay attention and protect the ball. Under a minute left. Every possession is critical now.
Pacers leading by 3. George, McGrady covering. Collison, defended by Gordon. Here's George. No luck.
It's not been a day to remember, but if they get the win, I'm sure being the team player that he is, he'll be fine.
Here's McGrady. Connects from in close.
Great awareness makes him a dangerous threat every time down the floor.
And the Pacers call time here. They're up by 1. 1:57 left in the fourth. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kev, Jim O'Brien was just going over the game plan with his team. He got right in the faces of his players and laid it out, saying this game is going to come down to heart. It's simple. Show me how much heart you have. We'll see how his team responds to that test, Kevin.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Deflects the pass.
Oh, what a great steal. That's a big-time play there.
Now Collison. Pass to Granger.
I think this quarter particularly, we're seeing them having trouble keeping possession of the ball. Far too many turnovers right now.
Timeout called the Pacers. They trail by 1. 1:17 left in the game. Here is Collison. On the wing, Granger. Here's George. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him.
Boy, they've really been scrapping for rebounds in this one. Neither club really dominating the other one.
And here is Stuckey. Picked up by Collison. Outside Gordon. And sinks it from 3. Gordon's got his second best. So it's Indiana now. Less than 1 minute left. Here's Hansbrough. Rebounded by Tracy McGrady. And so they go with the intentional foul here. Here's Stuckey. The Pistons have a chance to put this one out of reach. Picked up by Collison. And stolen by Granger. This is a crucial possession for him. A lot at stake here. Takes it up. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. And it's going to be on Tracy McGrady.
Contact certainly altered that shot. The official was right on top of it.
Sinks the second, and that trims the lead to 3.
That makes it a one-possession game. And I'm sure he wishes he could have that one miss back. They're trying to stir things up to make something happen. They've switched their D to full-court press.
And so they'll try to extend the game with the intentional foul here.
That's the right move. Stop the clock and hope they make a mistake you can take advantage of.
Good on the first, and that gives him a 4-point cushion. Hits them both, and it's a 5-point ball game.
With that trip to the line, he just made it a 2-possession game, Kevin. They better hurry. Time is ticking down.
And once again off the mark by Indiana. And there's the intentional.